They always said I'm wrong, but what they doing today? I think they want me gone, but I ain't going away. They told me I was wrong, but look at my ass today. Da 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 da.
Yo guys, what's going on? I am Tim Kelly. This is the NFL Final Score on the Real Sports Talk Network. Crazy day in the NFL, probably the best week so far in my opinion. Let's get right down to it. Game 1, the Texans and Ravens. T-Sizzle returns for the Ravens, reigning Defensive Player of the Year on the week that they lose Ray Lewis. Didn't really have a huge impact though. He didn't look terrible, but the Texans win this one 43-13. This is a game where I thought the Ravens would come out and make a statement. Instead, the Texans came out and they were the ones that made the statement. Arian Foster had 2 rushing touchdowns, and the Texans defense behind J.J. Watt, they just continue to impress me. Even though they've lost Brian Cushing, they continue to look extremely impressive week after week. Game 2 was another insane game. The Tennessee Titans defeat the Bills 35-34 late. Chris Johnson finally gets going. I don't know if he got going, but he had a great game today. Rushes for nearly 200 yards, and a last-second touchdown pass from Matt Hasselbeck gets the Titans a win. And Ryan Fitzpatrick played a good game, but late, something that's kind of killed in the last few seasons is his interceptions. He throws a late interception that helps the Titans to get back and win this game 35-34. Both teams now sit at 3-4. The third game was the Colts defeating the Browns 17-13. Andrew Luck actually ran for more touchdowns than RG3 did today. Andrew Luck ran for 2 touchdowns. The Colts able to hold off Brandon Weeden and the Browns. Trent Richardson has really been inconsistent. Today ran on 8 carries for only 8 yards. He's had some really good games, some really good moments, but overall, it has not been a great rookie season for Trent Richardson. Brandon Weeden hasn't looked terrible, but he just does not have enough help. The Giants defeat the Redskins 27-23. Best game of the day. I mean, especially the way this one finished. The Redskins are down. They get RG3 to make an incredible 4th down play. It reminded me of Donovan McNabb against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. He breaks off a couple tackles, then finds someone, and then late he gets a touchdown pass to Santana Moss, who had a big game. It looks like it's all sealed, and then you remember Eli Manning is the quarterback for the New York Giants. They come out and almost immediately they make a statement with a huge touchdown pass. I mean, I can't give Eli Manning, I'm not going to ride home about Eli Manning's clutchness on this one, because it always seems like Victor Cruz is wide open when they need a big play, and he was again today. Eli Manning makes a solid throw, but Victor Cruz did a tremendous job to get open and get them a 27-23 lead, which would end up being the final score. I mean, RG3 ran for 89 yards, threw for 250. He is the most fun quarterback right now for me to watch in the game. And Eli Manning is just, he's a surgeon out there. He's like what Peyton Manning is. I mean, he's not as good as what Peyton Manning was in his prime, but he certainly looks impressive right now. That is coming from a diehard Eagles fan. The Packers get a 30-20 win over the Rams. Aaron Rodgers throws 30 of 37, had a great game today, 342 yards and 3 touchdowns to defeat Sam Bradford and the Rams. Bradford hasn't looked bad, but the Rams they're really not a very good team. I think that's what it comes down to in this one. The next game is the Vikings defeating the Cardinals 21-14, and after starting 5-0, the Cardinals have lost their last 3. The Vikings continue to look extremely impressive as they get another win. Adrian Peterson rushes for 153 yards, gets his first touchdown since week 1, and the Vikings are now sitting at 5-2, 4-0 at home. It's been a really under-the-radar type season because Christian Ponder and Adrian Peterson, really no one on this team, with the exception of Percy Harvin, who's had a pretty solid season, has done anything offensively that's caught your eye, but the defense has been solid, and they've done enough to win the games. Now, I don't know if the Vikings are going to stick around and really be in the race the whole year, especially in a division where we saw potentially 3 teams coming out of the playoffs at the beginning of the year, and they certainly were the odd team out. I don't know if they'll continue to play at that level, but they look good so far. So far, so good. The Cowboys and the Panthers, neither of them looked good today. A 19-14 win. Cam Newton outplayed Tony Romo, but the Panthers are able to, the Panthers drop this game to Tony Romo and the Cowboys. It really wasn't an impressive game. Miles Austin had a touchdown. He played pretty well. Other than that, nothing blew you away on either side. Cam Newton just is really hit a sophomore slump, I think, and Tony Romo does not. He hasn't done anything really that's caught my eye since week 1 when they looked really impressive. And what made him look impressive was the fact that offensively they were keeping the Giants honest that week because DeMarco Murray looked so good. Without him in there, they're not nearly as good of an offense, and we saw that today. The Raiders win 26-23. This is one of the two 425 games today. They get a 26-23 win over the Jaguars, despite no protection for Carson Palmer pretty much all day. Not really a big game from Darren McFadden. The Raiders were able to get a field goal late from Janikowski to win this game. But, I mean, the fact that without MJD for most of this game, without Blaine Gabbert for most of this game, that they almost lost to the Jaguars shows that the Raiders are really a team that has taken a step back, I think. Last 2 seasons, they were right around 500, and they look a lot closer right now to a 5-11 type team. And Darren McFadden appears to have taken a step back after, I don't know, having a breakout season last year, but at least in the games that he was healthy, he looked very effective. Final game, another really good game. The Patriots get a 29-26 win. Jim Nantz tried to tell you that the Jets made the biggest upset of the day, and they now led the division. I don't know what he was talking about at the end of that game. But 2 late Gostowski field goals give the Patriots the win after Mark Sanchez he forces a fumble late in this one, gives it up, and the Patriots recover wearing those throwback red jerseys. It was a great day in the NFL today, to say the least. And then the final game we had was the Saints and the Bucks, which I just skipped this one by accident. That's why I'm going back. The Saints win 35-28, despite Josh Freeman throwing for 320 yards, 4 touchdowns. Vincent Jackson caught a Bucks franchise record 216 yards today. Jonathan Vilma and the Saints hold off the Bucks. The controversial call late was Mike Williams actually caught a touchdown on the final play, but what happened was he got pushed out and he got back in. Now, if Freeman had stayed in the pocket, then it would have been an illegal play, and then the Buccaneers would have had a real reason to be mad. But as Mike Pereira explained, and I know it's painful to listen to Mike Pereira talk, but he knows what he's talking about, at least sometimes, and in this case, because Freeman was out of the pocket, that rule goes away. Mike Williams was not allowed to be the next person to touch the ball. He was, and that is why the Saints walk away victorious. Great week in the NFL. Remember, our podcast is starting next Saturday. There will be a trailer out for that this week. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys later.
Just a little ways around the corner from fear.